Good evening, everyone, and welcome here to the Sports Talk Network. And welcome here specifically to Talking Packers with Steve, as you can tell or see there on the screen at talking_Packers there. Also, or as I usually do, my personal handle at Army_Strong_06 for Instagram, at StephenK_06, Snapchat, StephenK_06, and of course, to promote as I usually do for Who's on Games. Finishing up the Spook game, now moving on to Double Teamed, which will have its application deadline being the 10th, then cast being revealed on the 13th, and going on from there as we head into the road to Thanksgiving and into the holiday season being full bore now after Halloween. But enough of that, let's talk about the NFL, talk about the upcoming week. What was we heading into a new week then? Getting halfway through the NFL season. First, as we talk about it, bring our guest of honor, Ross. Ross, how are you doing this evening?
Doing pretty well.
Yeah, good to have you. Good to have you back as well. Being the halfway point of the NFL season, are somewhat to it for most NFL teams. Or all NFL teams by now with bye weeks and otherwise. What would be your synopsis of how the first half of the season have gone for you in general in the NFL, let alone for your team specifically?
Yeah, the season's gone kind of according to plan almost. They've won five games, yes, and they've beaten all the bad teams that they're supposed to beat, and they've great thing that they're beating up on the teams they should beat. Losing to the Saints close, that doesn't look horrible now, especially considering the game was in New Orleans. And so that's not a bad loss. The Packers loss was sort of bad. They came back. We talked about that last time I was on. They came back at the end, but not enough. And looking really, really bad. So 5-3, I think it's about where they expected. They are 4-0 in division, which is all they need to do right now. They're not going to get a so they have losses to Green Bay and New Orleans, so they're losing tiebreakers there. So with Dallas, just win the division games. They have to beat Philly and win the division, barring a big losing streak this month. So regarding Dallas, I'm pretty satisfied with how their season's gone. They just have
Yeah, I would say overall for the NFL season, it's always been interesting as regards to some teams that have had to have backup quarterbacks and still are actually thriving, if not doing better, i.e. Carolina, Kyle Allen, now Cam Newton being on the IR, as the Packers are about to face Carolina and Green Bay, rematch of the 96 NFC title game. And you have the Pittsburgh Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger going down in week 2, I believe. And then with their backup situation, and they're still in the hunt for the division, even with how great Baltimore has been playing. You also had Jacksonville with Minshew Mania running wild for as long as it did. Now Nick Foles healthy, he's taking back the starter role. So a lot of backups taking over, most doing well. Indianapolis, the backup took over because the other retired, and Andrew Luck before the season even started due to his plethora of injuries, which I have a feeling, forward thinking, that's where Cam Newton's going to go next year. Instead of going to another team, instead of being cut, traded, or whatever by Carolina, they want to honor him in a sense of not trading him, not cutting him, and just asking maybe it might be best for you to retire, Cam. So I think that might be where that direction goes for Cam Newton. But in regards to the Packers, in regards to the grade and report card I would give for the Packers in the midway season, I think they've definitely been well. 2 losses is great. But the teams they lost to and how they lost those both games, to the Philadelphia Eagles and last week to the Los Angeles Chargers, is a little worrisome. It's great to have a defense, and it helps with our team, especially with woes and not just always Aaron Rodgers carrying us. But when we are, to say found out, then it's makes it worse and worse in regards to trying and going down and not being able to come back and otherwise. It just seems like it's kind of a matchup situation. It's been for the two games we've lost, to Philadelphia and to Los Angeles, that we've beaten good teams, but then the ones we lose to are ones that are, let's just say, so middle of the pack in the NFC, or NFC and AFC, respectfully. And that's putting it kindly for the Chargers. But either way, last week thinking they were going to crush LA, this week thinking we're going to crush Carolina because of backup quarterback. They'll be doing well, but still, who could be another trap game for Green Bay. But anyways, overall, the halfway season for Green Bay has definitely been very good. I mean, certainly enjoying the record that it is, but still with the two losses in the team that we lost to, biggest question in regards to, well, how are we going to get to the playoffs? Are we going to be one and done? Who knows? Only time will tell on that one. But anyways, as I do, let's go over last week, week 9 of the NFL season, starting with the 49ers and the Cardinals. 49ers getting the win, staying undefeated, 28-25. Texans over the Jaguars in London, 26-3. Eagles over the Bears, 22-14. Chiefs over Vikings, last second field goal at the buzzer. Chiefs getting the win, 26-23. Steelers getting the win over the Colts, 26-24. Dolphins getting their first win of the season because you're playing the Jets, so there you go. 26-18 there. Bills over Washington, 20-49. Panthers over Titans, 30-20. Raiders defeating the Lions, 31-24. Seahawks getting a win over the Buccaneers, 40-34 in a high-scoring matchup. And as I said, Chargers over the Packers, 26-11. Broncos getting a win over the Browns. Shout out to Caleb. Ravens trouncing the Patriots, giving the Patriots their first loss, 37-20 there in that game. And for Monday Night Football in New York, even with the black cat that showed up there, Dallas Cowboys defeat the New York Giants 37-18 in that matchup. So we only have one team left undefeated, being the 49ers, and one team left winless, which is the Cincinnati Bengals. There, I guess, talking about the Cowboy game, getting the win over the Giants, it was close for most of it until, I guess, as the stats even showed somewhat, especially for Dak Prescott specifically, before the cat, after the cat appearance, the Cowboys looking up and showing out and winning with the score that they did. But for for a good portion of this game, I was wondering maybe the Giants are just gonna give a late Halloween surprise, a trick, not a treat for themselves, but a trick for Dallas, and might actually pull off the win until it all went awry for New York.
Yeah, a bit of a faulty final because Dallas. Really, the Giants were in the game for most of it. I mean, they took, it was like a 9-point lead, if I recall correctly, in the first half. They missed mainly because they missed an extra point after a touchdown. I think they took that into the second quarter as well. So they were playing well, but Daniel Jones just kept turning the ball over. And then Dak Prescott, he got rolling. He found Cooper for a touchdown. He found Gallup for a touchdown. Coming off of a bye, Dallas started pretty slowly, but overall it was a really good momentum going into this week.
Mm-hmm. As you said, all that matters, at least for Dallas or for any team, will be getting those divisional wins. And there's another divisional win there in New York, beating the Giants on Monday Night Football primetime game. So moving forward, as we do, to week 10, starting with the Thursday night matchup, we have the LA Chargers against the Raiders in Oakland. Chargers Raiders for Thursday night. What you say, Ross? How do you see things going down there in Oakland?
So I'm going to start off with a pretty strong lead to the Oakland Raiders. They're saying that the Chargers are favored in this game by 1 point, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense because Oakland's at home, and I think Oakland's the better team. He knows an offense, and Oakland's offense is rolling right now. Derek Carr, Tyrell Williams, Josh Jacobs is now getting going. Of course, they've got Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow from Clemson. Players. And I know the defense isn't great, but I'm not quite buying the Chargers just yet. Their defense, it's iffy. It looks good against the Packers. They only had like 52 yards of offense in the first half. So maybe you can comment on the Charger defense, but I'm not quite buying them just yet. But I think there's a mismatch there with the Oakland offense. So give me the.
All right. Well, first I'll just go with my prediction. I'm going Raiders over Chargers, 26-20 final score. Whether it's overtime touchdown for that, because there'd be no extra point or 2 field goals. I don't really care how it happens. I see Oakland getting a win, kind of eking it out in a good battle. In regards to the LA defense, with Green Bay facing them last week and giving us fits, I always thought, okay, we'll get back in this game. We got back in this game. We got Aaron Rodgers, very good defense that I think or thought was going to step up, but just wasn't able to against somewhat of a lackluster LA Chargers offense, or at least it seemed that way for this season. The ball just not bouncing for them this season, though a great team on paper, a team that I was rooting for, more for Philip Rivers specifically, last season to make a run in the AFC playoffs. But this season just wasn't going their way at all. So in the matchup against Green Bay and their defense and some of their blitz schemes, I think we're actually on point, of course, and it worked out for them. But I think, again, that was all about the matchups against Green Bay. And even though as great as Aaron is, our wide receiving core is not of even as well as the wide receiving core being in Oakland. So I think the matchup in their own divisional game against Oakland is going to not play favorably for the Chargers defense, specifically their cornerbacks, DBs, and wide receiver battle with Oakland, where I think Oakland's going to be able to win those matchups most of the night, the entire night. So, like I said, I'm going with the Raiders over the Chargers 26-20 in that matchup on Thursday night tomorrow. Tomorrow night. Moving right along, we got the battle in New York. We got the Giants and the Jets. Two somewhat hapless teams, and well, more so for the Jets and the Giants, but both of them being, I would say, in the some people call factory of sadness, the bottom 4, bottom 5 of the NFL and rankings. Well, at least the Dolphins no longer are last place, but either way, Jets, Giants, for me, it's flipping a coin, but I do predict the Giants getting the win against the Jets. Giants over Jets, 23-9. Giants over Jets for me. What say you, Ross? I used the battle in New York going for the Giants and the Jets.
I'll lean to the Giants. There's a question mark. Obviously, if he's out, I mean, the Jets really don't have anybody else on offense, and if Sam Darnold is still seeing ghosts, it's going to be pretty bad. If as long as Daniel Jones can keep the ball, can throw it to his team and hold on to it at least. The Giants have playmakers on offense, but Jones just turns it over too much. But I think the Jets' offense will be a lot worse than the Giants. So, but that's the I'll take the Giants.
Amazing. 1 week they play great against Dallas and whoop up on the Cowboys. And we think the Jets offense is back. Sam Darnold came back from mono and the team's all together. And then after that, they just go back to being the Jets. So I guess that was more of a blip in a trend after being like playing like they're a top team in the AFC, beating Dallas, than just becoming the Jets before. So it's unfortunate for Cowboy fans that the Jets showed up for that game, than all the other games. But in the end, I guess it might not matter for Dallas because in the end, like you're saying, divisional games and a good record. But still, the Cowboys are the team that gave the Jets their first win. So anyways, moving right along Falcons Saints in New Orleans. If only the Falcons were a good team, because in this game definitely would be a game of the week candidate, but that is not the case. So therefore, I'm going with the Saints to stomp a mud hole in the Falcons. I have the Saints over the Falcons, 35-16. What say you?
Yep, it's the Saints. I mean, for the Cardinal game, but I mean, he looked great in that game, so there's no reason to think he's not 100%. And the Falcons are just bad, and it's kind of crazy to think that they were in the Super Bowl a couple years, and now they're going to get a top 5 draft pick if things keep going the wrong way. So yeah, I like the Saints.
Yeah, in the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and should have won that Super Bowl. They if they knew how to hold the lead. But anyways, moving right along, Chiefs and the Titans, Kansas City and Tennessee. They're in Tennessee. I do say probably will not be seeing Patrick Mahomes quite yet. It's crazy enough that Patrick Mahomes was close to playing at all against Green Bay 10 days after his injury, let alone now, a couple weeks from that point. But either way, whether it was Matt Moore or Patrick Mahomes, this Chiefs offense still rolling. Again, this is the season of backup quarterbacks where you think, or I thought, maybe not everybody, but speaking for myself, where I thought with most of these teams with the backup quarterbacks coming into play for them, that those teams were going to get seemingly almost automatic losses. And then my brain was thinking of other teams to make the jump, like Tampa Bay in that division with the Saints. You have Teddy Bridgewater in there. Now Tampa Bay can try to get things going, or Oakland in the West. But the backup quarterbacks, for however long or short their time has been with said teams, the season of backup quarterbacks actually doing what backup quarterbacks are supposed to do, winning games and holding the team afloat until the starter is able to come back, or doing so well where you keep the job, like in Carolina. Anyways, for my pick for this actual game, getting back to the Chiefs and the Titans, I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs over the Tennessee Titans on the road, getting a win 23-16. But Ross, what say you? How do you see things going down in Tennessee?
Yeah, like you mentioned, we'll probably see Mahomes this week. He was a full participant in practice. The Chiefs have been, I think, Mahomes wanted to get back on the field earlier, but yeah, if he plays, I like the Chiefs quite a bit. The Tennessee offense, it works best when they got a lead, then they can just pound air up to 30 times a game. But if the Chiefs get out to a lead, then you have to lean on another backup quarterback, Ryan Tannehill. And yeah, I just don't like Tennessee's offense at all. And so I think the Chiefs, if they get a couple big plays, they're going to win the game. So obviously that's pretty simplistic, kind of a basics, I guess, handicap, for a football game. But yeah, I like the Chiefs in the end.
Okay. Oh, you want to talk about a handicap? You want to talk about a team that needs a handicap, like in golf? That'd be the Cincinnati Bengals in this matchup against the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens coming off stomping a mud hole in New England, giving them first loss. I know friend of the show, Kyron Chase, has been enjoying it during the week with all the stuff he's always been hearing about his Ravens. Can't beat New England and all the other stuff. But anyways, with the Ravens and the Bengals, Ravens on the road, I'll let you go first with the prediction. But before I go to you with the prediction, I just wanted to say in regards to the Bengals, a team that's winless, a team that I thought was going to trade their wide receiver AJ Green. I was hoping he could come to Green Bay maybe. But either way, this Bengals team that is winless, I thought was going to do more. The Ravens team that's showing up and showing out. I still don't know if they're going to be the threat to New England in the playoffs, but they certainly did something to show something to me into the NFL world, what they did do in New England last week. So, but I'll let you speak on it in regards to Ravens Bengals.
Yeah, it's going to be the Ravens. They were super impressive last week, beating New England, taking them out, kind of blitzed them. They got up double digits, and they really held their own in the second half when New England made a charge back. So yeah, super impressed. And the Bengals, I think they're playing for the number one pick. They're in the driver's seat, like you said earlier. The only win to win a football game. So I will definitely go with the Ravens.
Same here. I'm going Ravens over Bengals, 45-13 final score. Excuse me for that matchup. The next matchup is kind of a tale of tape in regards to the Buffalo Bills, and surprisingly doing well in record-wise, to the Cleveland Browns, the home team in this game that were supposed to be something, supposed to be the world beaters, supposed to be division leaders, and stomping a mud hole in the division in the NFL and taking names. And this is the new Browns. We're not, they're them saying, we're not the Browns of old. You need to change your mind about your thoughts of the Browns. Don't always think of us as factory of sadness. And then this season happened so far. This halfway point in how there's already infighting in regards to what seems from the outside what's going on in Cleveland, specifically with Odell Beckham Jr. already complaining about not getting enough catches, not getting enough targets, more so than catches, but targets on the team. And then they're gonna get Kareem Hunt back, which then just makes it even more craziness there. I'm going to go first. I'm going to go with the Bills over the Browns, 23-20, getting the win there for Buffalo and their surprising greatness, in a sense, in regards to how their season's going so far. And unfortunate for the Browns, because I myself was feeding into that narrative here on this very podcast and on Twitter. Before the season started, the Browns going to win the division, might even make a dent in the playoffs, blah, blah, blah. And I kind of am a little bit disappointed in how the Browns are doing so far. But what say you in regards to the Browns overall and the game against Buffalo?
Browns overall, I've not gotten a lot of things right this football season, but I was completely right on the Browns, so I'm going to take a little victory lap here. 2-6, Baker Mayfield is extremely. That was the thing people were missing most from the preseason predictions. That Freddie Kitchens is a bottom 5-7 head coach in the NFL, and I just think good coach. There's talent there. I just don't know if Kitchens is the guy to put it all together. Regarding the game, this is one that I am unsure of because I referenced the Raiders-Chargers line. 6 Browns favored over the Bills, which is a real head-scratcher. The teams, if you look at the record, it would look really weird, but I think the teams are a bit closer than people might think. Forced pick, honestly, I'd lean toward the Bills because I still don't like the Browns at all. But I think this could be, if you're a fantasy player, this could be a big Odell Beckham game. You said he was complaining a bit. I think that they might start feeding him the ball to make him happy. And if Odell has a good game, the Browns might win. But it could be because they're trailing by 17 points in the fourth quarter, and he just rips off a 50-yard slant pass. I'll lean to the Bills slightly, but I'm not all that confident.
See, ladies and gentlemen, this is why Ross is the king of whodunit games, because he knows how to find the devil in the details in regards to whether it's cases in a game or in regards to preseason predictions about the Cleveland Browns and being the coach situation, or not situation, but with the Cleveland Browns and them deciding to go the way they decided to go with the head coaching decision. I just thought that with them being smarter than me, knowing why they picked him and why they decided to go with Freddie Kitchens because of his relationship with Baker and how the season ended the last season, blah, 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 that I thought, okay, they'd be able to move that forward. But Ross in regards to, and others, whoever else thought that too outside, just unfortunate in regards to the Browns and how they're doing so far. But Browns be Browns, I guess. Moving right along, though, Arizona against Tampa Bay. This game is going to be interesting, I guess, in the other spectrum of things. A team like the Buccaneers, where I thought they were going to maybe not win a division, but at least contend for the division championship, if also not just strictly for a wild card berth. But I'm going with the Buccaneers getting a win. I guess somewhat of a surprising win because Arizona has been improving of late. Especially, I certainly have enjoyed how Arizona's kind of turned it around. But I'm going to Tampa Bay getting the win at home. Buccaneers over Cardinals 16-13. There in Tampa Bay. What say you? How do you see things happening in sunny Florida?
I don't think we've had a single disagreement so far. Yeah, I like Tampa. I mean, you never know what you're going to get with Jameis Winston. There's no rhyme or reason to when he shows up and plays well. It seems you could kind of flip a coin, and if it's horrible. But yeah, the Arizona defense doesn't seem like a team on the road that can take advantage of Winston's turnover kind of qualities, or I don't know how to phrase. Yeah, I'll take Tampa. Kind of convincingly, I'll say Tampa Bay by over a touchdown.
For the next game, we got a battle in the mighty NFC North. The Detroit Lions, the Chicago Bears. Maybe not so as mighty as it was earlier. Chicago kind of projecting downward. But Detroit, in regards to some games in the past, to include against Green Bay, where I even agree in some way they were owed in regards to the referees. But Detroit, their record not really exactly showing, at least to me, of how they actually were playing. I think they've been a solid team. They should have beat Green Bay and they should have beat Kansas City. So, though I also say they should have lost week 1 against Arizona. So, what do I know? But for this game specifically, I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions to get the win over the Chicago Bears, because what the heck is wrong with Mitch Trubisky? Because what I thought is that in regards to heading into the season, even yes as a Packer fan, but as an unbiased journalist, that Mr. Trubisky and the Bears were in their own way going to show up and show out along with the other teams in the NFC North, and as I call it, the mighty NFC North, and would be that dogfight to the end. All the games will matter in totalitarian in regards to all the teams. But Mr. Trubisky is becoming a Baker Mayfield, and that's not good for Chicago. So I'm going with Detroit over Chicago, 26 to 10. Detroit over Chicago, get the win on the road. What say you, Ross?
More agreement. I like Detroit. I mean, Mitch Trubisky's just, I mean, he's not good at all. Like last season, he would have good, like there would be some inconsistency like with Winston. But, I mean, when you're flipping a coin, was it 8 times so far this season? They've all been bad. I mean, yeah, Detroit's a solid team. I think they're coached well. And, I mean, Chicago's just a dumpster fire right now on offense. So, yeah, give me the Lions.
As the Lions shall roar to this Sunday. Heading into the next game, we got the Dolphins against the Colts. I haven't been able to check in regards to the status to Jacoby Brissett. I don't know if he'll be able to play or not. Either way, whether he is or not, I still have the Colts getting the win over the Dolphins, though I don't see it being a blowout. I do see it as a close game, at least to me. But I am going with the Colts over the Dolphins, getting a win. Just don't put it in. Don't put the game in Vinatieri's hands anymore. That's hard to say because as great as Vinatieri's been in his kicking career in the NFL, obviously first ballot Hall of Famer for sure. But if it was any other kicker, he would have been cut week 2 or he'd been cut last weekend the next morning. And trust me, there was a kicker. It wasn't Chicago. Anyways, there was a kicker that was cut the next week during the season here in the first half. Because he missed a couple of field goals during the game. So, yeah, it's happened. But it's that Vinatieri, so that's not going to happen. They want to keep him there also for morale, the locker room leader. So they're kind of handling him with kid gloves, although he thought to retire after week 2, and that mess. But anyways, don't put him don't put the game in his hands anymore. But I don't think that's going to be necessary against Miami. I'm going Indianapolis Colts over the Dolphins, 16-6. What say you? What do you think happened in Indianapolis?
One quick kind of tangent on the kicker thing. I missed the Titans kicker, Ryan Suckup, and it was against Buffalo a couple weeks ago. And it sticks out of my mind so vividly because I picked the Titans to win that week. And he missed 4 field goals, and the Titans lost by 7. Oh boy, am I tilted about that one. But anyways, let's talk
Right.
about the current game. Uh, yeah, I like the Colts. I don't think it matters who's quarterbacking them. I'd honestly be a bit surprised if they rush Brissett back. It's like really well. I mean, he's a veteran. He can spot start no problem. So yeah, I'll take the Colts regardless of the quarterback.
All right, and moving right along to the game that was flexed from noon to 3:25 p.m. Central Time, 4:25 Eastern. Carolina Panthers, Green Bay Packers, Cam Newton, 9 IR, Kyle Allen's pretty much taking over this team. Like I said, whether Cam's going to retire after this season or going to another team, it seems like it's a Kyle Allen show in Carolina, at least as of now, moving forward. But against Green Bay and our opponent defense, I'm going to go with Green Bay over Carolina in a close one. I'm a little bit worried in regards to matchups, though. Again, against Philadelphia and LA Chargers, teams that I thought we would be able to have an easier win, let alone other games that I thought were going to be tougher with maybe losses that we got wins. So it's kind of playing an oddity way in my eyes and how we're playing this season with our win-loss record. But I am going with the Packers, support my team as I always do. Packers over Carolina, 27-23. What say you? How do you think things are going to be going down in frozen tundra of Lambeau Field?
Yeah, I like the Packers a little bit. It's going to be a big test for Kyle Allen going on the road into one of the most hostile environments. Excuse me. A tremendous home field advantage. And I'm going to chalk last week up to just Aaron Rodgers. It's just an off game. I think you can throw him a mulligan once a year. I think they're going to get against Carolina, who does have a good defense. But I worry about Kyle Allen a little bit in a tough environment. So I will take the Packers.
All right, smart man. Anyways, moving right along, we got the Ravens against the Steelers, or not Ravens, sorry, Rams. Rams against the Steelers. Ravens are playing the Bengals. Rams against the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Again, another team with a backup quarterback, and the Steelers still chugging along, still might even be able to win the division. Rams, not being the Rams of last season, the reigning defending NFC champions. But I'm going to go with the Rams over Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. Rams over Steelers 26-23, getting the win there. I won't be surprised though if it's a bigger win, but I'm going Rams over Steelers because even as well as the Steelers have done with their backups, they're going up against a Rams defense that can make you humble. I'm going with the Rams over Steelers there. What say you? How do you see things going down in Pittsburgh?
Once again, agreement. I like the Rams off a bye. Close game against the Colts. And I just don't really like Mason Rudolph, maybe as much as other people do. I don't really see it. Like I was watching the game last week. It was the only game. I think I had. I can't remember what my TV had, but I was watching the Pittsburgh game, and he was just dinking and dunking to his running back Samuels. He had it was ridiculous. He didn't throw ball. I like the Rams a lot. I think they're going to get it right. They're too talented to not play better than they have been at 5-3. They're going to get going eventually. Todd Gurley, I think, is going to be more involved. I think they're trying to be a bit cautious with him and his injury. But now that the season's getting later and the games are more important, I think you'll see him a little bit more. So, yeah, I will take the Rams.
All right. And Sunday Night Football on NBC. The NFC North's Minnesota Vikings. The Dallas Cowboys in Dallas there. And since I went first, anyways, with my Packer game against Carolina, I'll let you go first with your Cowboy game in Dallas. What say you? How do you think things are going down there? You think your boys are going to get a W?
My bias isn't blinding me here, but I love the Cowboys in this spot. Coming back home off of Monday, getting a home game against Kirk Cousins, who historically has played extremely poorly in primetime games. And at home, Dallas's offense is rolling. A bunch of rushing attempts in this game with Zeke Elliott going up against Dalvin Cook and Alexander Madison. But I think Dallas, they're going to get Vander Esch back. I think the linebacker. I mean, Dallas's front seven is awesome. They got Michael Bennett now. I think everything is going to start coming together now, and they're going to start clicking. So I will take the Cowboys.
And for me, I do see this as a very close game of the Vikings being able to match up with Dallas actually pretty well. Where they both has the ball, Vikings defense, Dallas offense, Dallas defense, Vikings offense, blah, blah, blah. But I am going to predict Dallas over Minnesota in a close game. I have Dallas over Minnesota 35-27. But still, I see the Vikings keeping it close there, indeed. And then for Monday Night Football, we got Seahawks and the 49ers. I'll go first. I see the 49ers staying undefeated. I have the 49ers over the Seahawks 27-20. They're in that game. But yeah, what do you think, Ross? You see San Francisco staying undefeated?
I think they do. I mean, they've got a big rest advantage. They played Thursday last week. Now they're Monday bye week against Seattle, who had to go into overtime to beat Tampa last week. I mean, San Fran's defense is excellent, and Seattle doesn't have a defense. Legion of Boom days are most certainly over. But Russell Wilson's playing just out of his mind. MVP for sure through 9 weeks. But I think San Fran, they're a more complete team, and I think they will prevail on Monday night.
All right. And regards to game of the week for you, what say you? What game do you think here for the Week 10 games for you or is the game of the week?
Since you can't say it, I'll say the Packers-Panthers game. I mean, two NFC teams really fighting for playoff positioning right now. Obviously, the Panthers are more so fighting for wild card positioning, but the Packers are fighting potentially for New Orleans. I mean, this projects to be the best, probably one of the more competitive games, and I'm really excited to see. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, I love watching him play. He's so great, and the crowd at Lambeau is always great. So that will be my game of the week.
Wow, it's very kind of you. For me, my game of the week. I get my helmets here. Come on now. All right, my game of the week is the Vikings Cowboys. My game of the week. I picked the Cowboys to get the win, but yeah, this game I do see above some other ones that were in contention that I just think that definitely has the ability to be the game of the week, be able to a close game that's going to be down to the wire, whoever's the ball last kind of game. Sort of final to it, or one of those games that were close and Dallas or Minnesota, one of the teams pulled off, kind of like against the Giants, but in a different way, in an actual battle between the two teams, more so with these two great teams in the NFC who might be facing off against each other again in the playoffs, whether first round or otherwise. But yeah, for me, it's Minnesota Vikings versus the Dallas Cowboys for my game of the week. So hey, that ironically worked out. We both picked our team's game, our team's games for the game of the week. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, it should be another fun week in the NFL. And as I made sure to check out all my rosters for my fantasy football team, so not to mess up as I've done sometimes in other seasons, being busy with rosters, people on buys, blah blah, injuries, and making those necessary changes like I had to with one of them with Cam Newton being on IR. So, because I had him as backup and I thought he was going to come back. Point is, making sure I'm on top of that as much as I am on my own podcast here. But anyways, I'll leave the last words, thoughts, ideas to Ross, and he can also promote himself if he wishes to do so as well.
Yeah, super weird. 100% agreement on the picks, and for the game of the weeks, we pick each other's teams. And anyway, it's just a nice coincidence, I suppose. But yeah, it's been fun talking football. You can find me on Twitter at Ross Schinberg. Go Nationals. Well, aren't as good, but it's all right. We can only have a few Washington teams that are good at a time. It's the Capitals and Nationals now, and the Mystics. They won the WNBA championship, so the Redskins can have their.
They could be a talk of the town when they finally win something. Yeah. But yes, congratulations to your Nationals. And ironically, in regards to your road to the championship, had to go through Milwaukee, so that was nice too. So, started against us and finished it off and somewhat dominating way in regards to the series and how well you guys did. I was happy for you specifically, also for ESPN's Tony Kornheiser, Nationals fan there, dude, national guy, and others in the media and otherwise. So, yeah, congratulations to the Nationals World Series champions, reigning defending champions in MLB. We'll see here with the NFL as the season continues how the reigning defending Super Bowl champions, New England Patriots, do in trying to defend their crown heading into the back half of the season as we head into the holidays and so forth, nearing the end of the regular season to playoffs. But as always, welcome to follow the podcast on Twitter at talking_Packers. Also, welcome to find me on my personal handle at Army_strong_06. Instagram at StephenK_06. Snap a chat, StevieK_06. And as I was promoting earlier, Who Done It Double Teamed. Who Done It Double Teamed at W Teamed. The deadline is the 10th. So if you have not found a partner yet, you're welcome to do so. They did say that if you didn't find one, you can still apply by yourself and they will place you with the partner of someone else that isn't partnered already, obviously. So people that are out there listening, if you are into whodunit, solving fictional murders, a fan of the Whodunit TV series and haven't yet found out that games are still being played, like how I found out in 2018. Because I was talking with Jeff today, Jeff Gucci McNuggets on Twitter, that who's going to be my partner for the next game, who hopefully will be casted. We'll see. Fingers crossed. That, it seems like in regards to this, into that universe, my life changed when I got the out of nowhere follow from the 2018 Twitter handle game and then followed back and then applied and how my life changed since then. And yeah, it just seems that way to me in that regard and how now I am so whodunit proponent. I talk about it enough on each and every podcast, promoting the next game with the current game, previous game, current game, past game, next game. Talking about players that I used to play with, to include you, Ross, and others. Sometimes when I'm talking about football or wrestling, and I bring it up, not all the time, but sometimes. How it's been a part of my life now. It's been part of my daily life when playing the games, of course, as you know, for yourself. But for me, it's just, I just want to keep those wheels turning and always going. I know for you and others, not the same, where, you want breaks and not wanting to keep playing if you're, unable to, or for other personal reasons. But for me, I'm going to be doing this one, the next one, the next one, then my game. So it's going to be fun for me in that way. But it's just crazy to sit back and think, at least for me personally, of how that all changed my life in regards to bringing whodunit into my life and how it's only taking over for positive and kind of enjoying it and almost becoming its own positive drug, I guess you could say, of wanting to keep playing and keep solving that, keep seeing how I do and keep doing my cases and put on the suit, wear my suit and do those videos. Also for people, my cases for Whodunit Spooked are now public on my channel in the miscellaneous playlist. So I guess if you have a couple minutes, if you do have a couple minutes to spare, just your thoughts in regards to your whodunit career, your difference in regards to, yeah, you need a break and want breaks for yourself, and just anything else you want to bring up in regards to your side of the whodunit life.
I mean, yeah, I kind of want to echo your sentiment. Like, it's kind of crazy how, I mean, I've got the perspective of like being here, like literally from the beginning, like playing games like a month after the TV show went off air for season one.
Uh-huh.
Um, I mean, I was there. I played in Ryan's game, Puppet Master from Double Vision, and that just spiraled. And I ended up hosting a game, and I met Kennedy and Gavin, one of the hosts of the 2018 game, and just forming our little community. We'd have games on and off from about 2015 to 2016, and then 2018 game came back, and we now know have like exponentially increased the community, and it's really awesome to see that they're going on almost year round now. And we had a little bit of a break after the 2018 game, but now with Double Vision and then Spooked, I followed along with Spooked. I saw your interview with Caleb. I watched that, and then the tell-all. That was pretty cool. Just to see from somebody on the outside, right? I've seen the entire 2018 and Double Vision games, but yeah, watching from the outside, just seeing their perspectives and different backstabs and twists and whatnot. Yeah, that was pretty cool. And regarding the future, I guess I don't think I'm going to be playing W Team since none of my friends are also interested in it. And also, the fall is just generally busy for me. But whenever Double Vision Season 2 comes back, you will definitely see me there. I've got to, kind of said with the Patriots, I got to defend my crown, I suppose. So, and then whatever happens after that, I will play it by week after that, I guess. So, I mean, yeah, Whodunit's been great. I've met many awesome people through this game. It's just been great. I wish they'd bring it back, but these games are a great consolation in a way. So yeah.
Oh, exactly. I know. It was, and I don't know if you were able to see the video yet in regards to what was supposed to be my interview with Billy, the killer of Spooked, but I read answers from the game. Okay, well, I was just gonna say, reading the answers at least from Whodunit Spooked, the game account, in regards to the game, where one of their final comments were about, hopefully one day us all as a community, be one big team together, and trying to get, have the TV show come back and being part of it and this and that. However, to be, I think would be pretty dang awesome. They also talked about, some of the issues in the game, like me and the Becky situation and other things, and how we all were immature children. Because they talked about how, we wanted, we had 18 and older for casting because we thought you all could handle it, but unfortunately that was not the case. So all the other stuff. So yeah, and it's gonna be, as I'm mapping out the games moving forward, we're gonna have a lot, because we're gonna have we had Spooked for Halloween, then we're gonna have Double Teamed here for Thanksgiving into the start of the December, then Double Vision Season 2 in January or February. Then in spring, Ryan's gonna run a game, whatever that's gonna be about in spring, and then mine is gonna start in early or mid-May or early June, whatever. For 2020, Whodunit, 20 people casted for that. And then after that, when that ends, which probably might end in September or whenever I can plan it out to end, then Spooked will come back, because they said that at the very least they'll come back next year for Spooked, so to host the game again. So it's almost like a full year, not full, continuous. There might be little breaks in between or months in between, but games continuously already into next October. So I like that, to be part of it. But again, for others, taking breaks. I know Caleb said he's not going to be playing games until, he said maybe my game. But either way, yeah, I've gotten to know a lot of great people, and certainly have enjoyed um, getting to know people, everybody, whether it's people that I've been friends with from the jump in 2018, and those that I've grown to know more since then, like KB, Jeff, yourself, Ross. Um, people that I might not been besties with or at all friends with at the beginning of my career of Whodunit Games on social media, um, but have gotten to know now and become good friends with each of you, um, which is pretty cool in its own right for me personally. So doing that, being able to maybe at some point, like the game said, to be together and make a TV show come back. But either way, yeah, I just wanted to bring that up since I am talking about it. But either way, for the NFL season, hope maybe we'll see how it all goes. I mean, all right, final question, and we'll wrap it up after this one. For right now, on the spot, Ross, what are your top 5 NFC and top 5 AFC teams for each conference?
Pull it up real quick. So I'll just start with the that conference. Well, 49ers, I think you have to put them at number 1 until they show us that they don't deserve to be number 1. Give me New Orleans close. I really like the Saints. Then I think you have to go Packers number 3. And then it gets tough because Dallas, I think they're the Cowboys. They always do something to screw it up. So I'll put the Cowboys at 4 tentatively. And then I think I'm going to put Minnesota at 5. Bulls number 6. But I'll put the Vikings slightly ahead. And then in the AFC, New England's still number 1. No change there. If Patrick Mahomes is healthy, the Chiefs are number 3. Let's see here. Dang, it kind of drops off after that. Houston, I guess, would be number 4. And then, boy, the Bills, Colts, Steelers, Raiders. I'll put the Raiders at 5. I still think they're a bit under, though. Pats, Chiefs, Ravens, Texans, Raiders in the AFC.
Awesome. In regards for me, not too much difference. In regards to AFC and NFC. For the NFC, you got number 1, San Francisco 49ers, kind of what you were saying. They are the last unbeaten team in the NFL. So in the NFC, until they lose, until they get knocked off that pedestal, they're being the kings of the mountain for the regular season overall, let alone the NFC. So I got the San Francisco 49ers. At number 2, I have the New Orleans Saints. Teddy Bridgewater did great on the backup role. Drew Brees coming back, so the team being stronger than ever. Number 3 for the NFC, I actually have the Seattle Seahawks. I just see Seahawks being that team to be able to show out here in the second half of the season and in the playoffs, kind of a sneaky big team to be able to dominate. And then at number 4, I have the Green Bay Packers. Our record speaks for ourselves, but we still have to fill in some holes. Otherwise, we will be exposed in the playoffs, let alone the continuous of the second half of the season. And at number 5, 5th ranked for the NFC, I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings and then Dallas Cowboys number 6. But the Vikings in the top 5, another sneaky big team that be able to, I think, can get things done here in the second half of the season and the playoffs. They're sort of the team. So that be my top 5 for the NFC. The AFC is a little bit trickier. I mean, the NFC is a dominant division, or dominant conference, I mean, that there's going to be some good teams that are going to miss the playoffs. Like, we didn't bring up the Rams at all. Definitely not going to bring up the Bears, but we didn't bring up the Rams. And there are some other teams in regards to the NFC. The Eagles, some other teams that were good, that are going to be good, that aren't going to be in these top 5, let alone the playoffs. For the AFC, number one in the AFC, I think it will still be the New England Patriots. You agree there. They are still the defending reigning champions, so I give respect to them in that way. Unlike the College Football Committee and the Clemson Tigers, but okay. Anyways, second for the AFC, I have the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens jumping up to number 2. They showed out a lot for me this past week against New England, defeating the unbeatable team there. So I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens at number 2. Number 3, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs going to be the Chiefs. They'll still be able to do well even with a backup quarterback. So that shows how well they are in total. And you have, you get your quarterback back, you're going to be even better than that. So I'm going with them at number 3. Number 4, I'm going to go with the Houston Texans there. I think just by default, in regards to the rest of the conference, they're going to be there. At number 5, I'm going to go with I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills in Buffalo, New York. I may have that team being the number 5 as of right now here at the midway point. So maybe a point for the NFL season. Buffalo Bills being my number 5 and the Oakland Raiders being my number 6. So that's how I see it for top 5 AFC, top 5 NFC. But I like your list, obviously. I get on there. Anybody have any questions? Not questions, but your list of top 5 AFC, top 5 NFC, leave it in the comments section below, or you can send it to us on Twitter, however you wish to. But with that, finally, I will bid us all adieu, and hope everybody has a great rest of their evening. I will be back in my next video probably tomorrow afternoon. Doing my review of Riverdale. Of Riverdale and This Is Us. We'll be doing both reviews and then videos moving forward. So above all else, as always, take care.